What's up guys, today I'll be teaching you how to do the double slug hot swap, which results in pretty much the highest DPS in the game. So after I do the tutorial, I'll be breaking down the numbers and comparing it to a few other things in the game. And before we begin with the video, my G Fuel code Ehroar is going to be 30% off on G Fuel for today and tomorrow. So definitely take advantage of that and try out all the new flavors you want to try, or restock up on your favorites. Anyways, go ahead and click the link in the comments and description and it'll take you straight to the store and automatically apply my discount code. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to do the double slug hot swap, and as you see in this gameplay right here from Soto, which is a part of the team Luminous that got world's first for the Deepstone Crypt. This is from their one cycle kill on Taniks, where they don't get pushed back ever and they kill them right off the bat. And as you can see, this combo is really good, and Soto along with the entire Luminous team are really good speedrunners. So I'm gonna go ahead and link his Twitter in the description below, and definitely check him out and follow him if you like stuff like that. So first in this video, I'm going to teach you how to do this on keyboard, mouse, and controller. And just like the Titan skating video, if you put in the time and the effort, you can definitely learn this on controller, keyboard, mouse, whatever you play on. So let's go ahead and begin. So pretty much what you want to do, no matter if you're doing keyboard, mouse, or controller, is you want to use shotgun dexterity. And this is now a perk on gauntlets, which it used to be boots, but now it's on gauntlet. And you definitely want at least one, but for this video I'm using two, just to make it as fast as possible. And the whole concept of the hot swap is you pretty much use your sprint to cancel the animation of swapping weapons. Fundamentally, all it is you swap weapons, then sprint, then when you stop sprinting, it'll change weapons. So it pretty much turns any weapon in the game into a quick draw weapon, and you can instantly swap to it by just sprinting. And one thing you're going to want to do on keyboard and mouse is if you go into your settings and your keybinds, if you look at switch weapon, you want to bind this to whatever key you want. I use it on my side mouse button because it is the easiest for me. And pretty much what this switch weapon keybind does is it acts like the swap button on controller, where when you press it, it goes between your kinetic and energy weapon back and forth. Then if you hold it, it goes to your heavy weapon. So now all you have to do for the hot swap is just press that key over and over again, and it'll go back and forth between the two slug shotguns, instead of having to do 1 and 2 or 1 and 3 or whatever keybinds you normally use. So the gist of the combo is you just press that swap weapon keybind, then you tap W and sprint, and it will swap weapons. If you add in ADS, you can see how fast that becomes. And the final step is just to shoot before you swap weapons. So the full combo is you hold ADS the entire time, you shoot, press swap weapon at the same time, then you tap W and sprint, and that is it. You just do that over and over again. And there's definitely a rhythm and speed you have to do this at, because the game can only shoot the shotguns at their max rate of fire. So all this combo is doing is shooting both of the shotguns at the max rate of fire at the same time. So there's definitely like a speed and rhythm you have to get into. If you go too quick, you won't shoot the weapon. So it's definitely like a learning curve. And now we do the same thing on controller. Now keep in mind, I haven't played a shooter game on controller in over 3 years, so I'm definitely rusty. I'm sure you guys will be way better than me. But it's the exact same concept. You hold ADS, you tap W or triangle, whatever controller you're using, and then you sprint. Then you stop sprinting and it swaps. And one thing you want to do, just like on keyboard and mouse, is sprint as fast as possible. So what you can do is go into the button layout and make it so you have hold sprint on, which means the second you let go of the left stick, it will stop sprinting, which means the other weapon will pull out. So pretty much just like on keyboard and mouse, you want to sprint as fast as possible and stop sprinting as fast as possible also to execute the hot swap. And outside of that, it's the exact same combo as keyboard and mouse. You hold ADS, you shoot and swap at the same time, then you sprint and stop sprinting, and just do that over and over again. And obviously I am terrible at controller, so I'm sure you guys will be a lot better, but as you can see, I can easily get the max rate of fire with both shotguns. Now aiming is a whole different story. I would recommend, if you played controller for a long time, you're probably comfortable with using claw, where you'll take your right index finger and use that to swap weapons. That will make it easier to aim at the same time. But keep in mind, when you're shooting at a boss like Taniks, there will be divinity. Then also there will be aim assist, which will help the aim kind of stay put. So the act of the hot swap on controller is pretty easy. The hard part will be keeping your aim on the target. And like I said, I have not used a controller in over 3 years. I'm definitely not the person to show off how you could do that. So if you're a person that plays on controller and does this combo all the time, please leave a comment of any tips and tricks you have for fellow viewers to help them out. So now for the DPS numbers of this combo, the two shotguns we're going to be using is the Heritage from the raid with Reconstruction and also Recombination. Mine does not have Assault Mag, so for rate of fire testing, I'm going to be using this one right here, which has Reconstruction and Assault Mag, but we will still keep in mind the Recombination on the first bullet. Then for your energy slot, you want first in, last out, preferably with the auto roll of Assault Mag, auto load and holster, and Vorpal. And you can still get this weapon from rolled drops, but it's going to be a little bit harder to farm than previous seasons. So looking at the damage on Carl, first with recombination times 10 on the Heritage, as you see it hits for 46,225, and that'll be for the first bullet. Then after that it'll go down to 24,543. Then with the first and last out with Vorpal, it hits for 28,969. And we look at the base rate of fire of these two weapons, they should be pretty much the exact same, and their damage output is pretty similar. So first with the first and last out, it takes 4.13 seconds, meaning 42,000 DPS, which by itself is obviously really good and among the highest of all specials in the game. And then with the Heritage, with the recombination times 10 on the first bullet, once again 4.1 seconds. And the DPS of this one is going to be 40.5 thousand, so a little bit lower than the first and last out with Vorpal, but still pretty good. And the way this combo works, where you're pretty much shooting both shotguns at max rate of fire at the exact same time, we should expect to be able to shoot roughly 12 shots in almost the same amount of time as it took to shoot one mag of each shotgun. So if we do that, it's going to be pretty close at 5.1 seconds, meaning the DPS of that would be 66,000, which is obviously really good and pretty much the highest DPS in the entire game outside of some of the burst options. So for example, if we compare that to the Cloud Strike, which is the exotic sniper rifle, and this is pretty much the highest single weapon DPS in the entire game outside of some of the burst options like the Lament and the Fourth Horseman, and we made multiple videos on this sniper before. The exotic perk procs on the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th shot, which means 157,000 damage per magazine on Carl. And we look at the rate of fire of one magazine, it's going to be really quick because it's a 140 at 2.5 seconds, then 2 mags shooting out 14 shots will take quite a bit longer at roughly 7.073 seconds, meaning the DPS over one mag is 61,000. Then with 2 magazines, which will be a more comparable test to the double slug, is going to be 44,000. So as you see, double slugs are just straight up much better than even the Cloud Strike. And the thing about double slugs is they're both legendary weapons, which means you can pair it with Anarchy, which will add roughly 14.5 thousand DPS to any combo in the game, which means the full combo double slug plus Anarchy is over 80,000, which is obviously really good and by far the highest sustained DPS in the game. Then for longer boss fights that take more than 6 shots each, if you have auto loading holster on the first and last out, then also reconstruction on the Heritage, what we can do, as we saw in the opening gameplay from Soto, is you can pretty much shoot your first shots of the first and last out until you run out, then you shoot a few shots of the Heritage to let the auto loading holster work on the first and last out. Then during that time you can also restick the boss with Anarchy. So even doing this full combo, which takes over 13 seconds, is still at 67.5 thousand DPS, which is once again way higher sustained DPS than any other thing you'll find in the entire game. So overall, this combo is really good for DPS. Obviously, it is the highest sustained DPS in the game, and pretty much burst also. The only things that are higher for burst are going to be things like Lament, Fourth Horseman, then depending on what type of enemy you're using against, the Raid Rocket. I'm sure there's a few other things that might peak a little bit higher for burst, but once you get past a few shots, and especially if you add in like reloads and things like that, this combo is just way better than anything else in the game. For sustained DPS, the only options you really have that can even come close to this are regular swords like Falling Guillotine, and they do roughly like 45,000. Then you have a few of the exotic sniper rifles, for example Cloud Strike and Whisper, that do roughly 45,000 also. So if you compare the double slugs plus Anarchy to like some of the other top sustained DPS options, the double slugs win by almost 20,000, which is nearly 50% more than the next closest thing. So yeah, this combo is definitely the real deal, and it's not too hard to pull off. And like I said, there's a rhythm to how fast you have to go, and just like the Titan skating, the only time I mess up is when I go too quick. So you have to find that rhythm and go at that pace, which means even on controller, you definitely have time to aim and things like that. And even if you do the combo kind of scuffed and it's not perfect, it's still going to be really good DPS and better than most options in the game. And with Tanix being a boss that has a good crit modifier, and the fact that you're really close to him, obviously this combo is dominating the new raid, and definitely something worth learning. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for the video. Make sure to use my code ERROR on G Fuel for 30% off. Anyways, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.